Hey, this is going to be the Excelerator App walkthrough, specifically a walkthrough of the features, every feature of the app. My name is Anders Boyum. I was one of the software engineers on this project. Just to give some context, Excelerator is what we call a gamified personal development app. So users will be able to list skills that they want to grow and develop, and they'll be able to log activities to net experience to level those skills up. And that kind of reward system is the motivating factor that we're going for. So this is the login landing page. You can register to if you want, if you're a new user. We have a test account, like a dummy account with some dummy data here that we'll just log into. That brings us to our main dashboard page, which is basically just a snapshot of where the user is at in using the Excelerator app. But before I get to that, we'll do the main main activity that the user will be able to do on Excelerator, which is add a log or add an activity to their log. So if we go ahead and click that, that brings up the add new log view pop-up. So this is where the user will be able to add the activities that they've done to get XP for the skills that they want to level up. So first they'll put in the date that they did the activity on. It automatically fills to the current date, but if they want to, they can click in here and change the date if they wish. Say we did it a couple days ago. Then they'll pick the skill that they want to level up. So they have, there's going to be some preset skills in here, but then also skills that the user can add specifically for themselves if they want to level up. So we'll do bocce ball here, and then they'll pick an activity that they did which pertains to the skill they want to level up. So, for example, let's say we talk to ChatGPT. Now, it's a pretty small activity, so we only get one experience for it. Each of these activities has a predetermined set amount of XP that will go towards leveling that skill up. So ChatGPT, if we did some activity on there, gives one experience point to the bocce ball skill. If we wanted to, different activities will net us more XP or less, but we'll stick with ChatGPT for now. So the source here, after filling those out, the user will be able to give the source for what they did. And this, for ChatGPT, maybe it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but for different activities, like, so for example, if they read an article instead, maybe we read an article on bocce ball. Well, here they could give the source for the article that they read. So it could be the URL to the hill.com or something, I think is a news website or something, and they wrote an article on bocce ball as well. So for example, we could do something like that. And then after that, an optional field is a takeaway, which is basically any specific notes the user wants to make about what they learned in this process. So maybe in the takeaways, they could just do like learned what bocce means. And then they can click submit, and that will automatically add their activities to the database, which will update all of these widgets automatically, which we'll get to those in a second. But going back to the add log page here, the thing that the user can do in this add log pop-up is if none of these skills are exactly what they're looking for, or if they have something specific that they want to start leveling up, a specific skill that they want to start leveling up, then they can actually go down here to this add a new skill button. And when they click on that, they're actually prompted to pick or to create any new skill that they can, start tracking. And that can be anything. So, if they wanted to, keep going with soft skills like public speaking or something like that, or if they wanted to pick something more unique, like something personal for their own mental health, like, for example, we'll go with gratitude here. Then they can click add that. And then if they go into their skills page here, whoops, then they can see that that skill has actually shown up, and they can start leveling that one up as well. And so then so for example, let's say we finished an audiobook on gratitude, that'll net us 20 experience points toward gratitude. The audiobook was 1,000 thanks. And the takeaway was learned to be grateful. Yeah, so they can do that. It's a new skill that they're starting to track. And when they hit submit, then all these widgets will actually update accordingly to that new skill. Moving on to the dashboard proper, we have these 4 different widgets here, which each give a different kind of snapshot of the user's activity. So the totals gives kind of overarching numbers for the user's activity on Excelerator. So they have the total amount of XP earned across all of their skills. They have the total number of entries that they've made, logs they've made into their activities. The total number of levels across all of their skills. So if we go down here, we can see for each of these skills, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's all 5 of those levels. And then they have the number of skills, which is just this whole list right here. Currently, we have 16. Also, a part of this table, the totals widget up here will be a conditionally rendering, or there is a conditionally rendering column, which will show how many skills they've hit max level with. So currently, none of these have hit the max level cap of 50. So that isn't showing up. But if we were to get any of these skills up to level 50, that would start counting how many skills have hit level 50. The skills table gives an overview of each individual skill and kind of where they're at with that skill, where the user is at with that skill. So take, for example, the technology skill. We are at level 1 with 12 total XP. The current XP this level is 2. It's 10 levels or 10 experience points per level. So if we have 12, obviously 10 goes to make that level 1, and then we have 2 left over to get us to level 2. And then finally, there's a badge, which is just a fun little icon related to the level of the skill. And it shows that information for every single skill that the user has. The activity widget over here is a heat map showing a snapshot of the actual how many times the user has logged an activity. So each of these colors represents an amount of activity logged on that day. So starting from the lightest color, we have 1 logged activity that specific date. Going a little bit darker, we have 2. A little bit darker, we have 3. And then the darkest one will be anywhere from 4 on. And these gray ones are just 0. The content table shows the list of how much content the user has consumed of these different types of content, so book summaries, podcasts, etc. It shows a list of how many they've listened to, how many pieces of that content they've consumed over the course of their time using Excelerator, and then as well how many of those were consumed this specific year. So whenever we add an activity that we read an article or that we read a book, this would be updated automatically. Same with every one of these skills. Anytime the user adds a log, these are all updated automatically accordingly. Real quick, we're going to show off up here that the user has an avatar, and if they click on that, so when the user comes in here to their avatar page, they can actually change which avatar they have, and that would automatically change that up there. So they can click through and change to whichever avatar they wish. From there, we'll move on to the XP log page. This is a comprehensive list of every activity the user has logged across their time using Excelerator. They they can look through this. There's different pages. They can they can change how many items are showing per page. They can sort by any of these: date, skill, or activity, or any of these. They can also go in and do some more in-depth alterations to this table, so they can hide different columns, filter by specific dates or skills or anything like that. They can manage which columns are showing, I don't know, taking off the date or the XP or whatever they want to do. There's a lot of customization options that they can do here, but ultimately this is a table that shows every single activity the user has logged, and any information pertaining to that activity. Going on to the stats, we have the calendar view, which just shows when they've logged different articles or different, different activities, and little snippets of what that activity was. They can click on those and it gives a little bit more in-depth information around that activity that they logged. And they can go back in time and kind of see when they logged activities, how often they logged something, things like that. Going over to the XP chart, this is a list of their current skills and kind of where they're at XP-wise in comparison to one another. So they can hover over here and see, okay, croquet has 25 XP points, communication has 19 XP, and so on and so forth. So they can just see kind of where they're at in relation to each other, which skills are the strongest and which are the weakest, and so on. Finally, we'll move on to the achievements page. And this is basically what it sounds like. Each of these different brackets of achievements has different milestones in it that the user can get to. If they've logged, if they've hit those milestones, then they can get those achievements. So we've obtained 5 levels. That gave us this achievement, and they can see also when they achieved that milestone. So that is Excelerator. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a good day.